Hey, good morning.
Hello, everybody.
And we are here live for you.
We're definitely here live.
Yeah,
You see, Sam C. Sam C is a little bit shocked by something I just said. But I'm going to ask you guys to comment about this thing after our show. After our show, I'm going to ask for your help. I'm going to ask for your help. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, see, we definitely apologize for a couple minutes of a delay, but I knew you guys would be okay with that. We were just doing a couple things. So here we are on this Saturday. It's the 8th of October, and I can't believe it.
I know. And there's a lot of people that we know who have birthdays today, one of which is our good friend Shar from Shar's Adult Conversations.
And just an overall good friend we've known for many, many years. So
that's right.
Happy birthday to you, Shar. And we hope she has a great day.
She will. She'll have a wonderful day.
So this is going to be a very great show. Of course, all of our shows are great. At least we think they are.
Yeah, we think so.
This show today is about protecting your information. So we have a very special guest standing by, and we can't wait to bring them on in just a matter of a moment because they've been backstage for
a long
time. So let's go ahead and get this Saturday morning started. The CCI radio show
starts now.
That's right. Good morning to everybody, and especially Danetta has jumped in.
Good morning,
Danetta.
We're happy to have you here.
Yeah, good Saturday morning to you, and she as well. Put a birthday shout out for the lovely Shar.
That's right. Happy birthday.
The inspiration sensation.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Wow. So how are you doing this morning?
I am doing great.
Doing great.
Looking forward to finding out about how to keep your credit good. I guess that's the best way. Keeping it good, keeping it safe.
Yeah.
Keeping your identity safe as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a really, really great show. Like I said, we have a guest standing by, and I'm looking at them right now. So, okay. So, let's go ahead and get this thing started here in just a moment. So, And again, for all you guys, all of our networking partners, make sure that you take a look on the crawler right there. We want to thank you all for being part of the CCI radio show.
That is correct. So we do have a great show for you today. The special guest, as Sam C said, is standing by.
They're just smiling.
You're right, Danetta. Amazon is stealing. I think Amazon is stealing everybody's money.
A bunch of crooks.
They are taking everything. Oh my God. They're taking over the world.
They're taking over the world. Yeah, I like that one.
That's right. We're going to bring our guest on in a second.
Yes.
This show today is all about how to protect your information.
Right. And there are so many different ways that you can protect your info. And I just can't wait to get this information, find out all about, how we can protect your information and everybody's information.
That's right. This person has worked with credit reports, many different sections of credit reports for many years.
Well, that sounds good. Really cool.
Yes, it's a very good. This is going to be a great show. So, Sam C, let's bring on our guest right now.
All right.
We would love to welcome to the show none other than Sam McCubbage.
I love that intro.
I thought you might. I thought you might.
You know, I was sitting there acting like I was going to bring the person on screen.
You did a good job.
Well, the person is on screen.
The person is on screen. Sam
So-
C. will tell us today about how to protect our information.
Yeah, you know, I thought this was a really, really good subject. And since I've been in that field for a very long time, it's,
Yes, you have.
you know, there's something we've never discussed.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I thought today would be a good day for that, especially like with the holidays coming and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff that, you know, people are out there and they want to buy things,
mhm.
but they may not have the credit to,
Yeah.
but they might think that you have the credit to. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to
We've
figure
seen
out
that.
so you have to figure out a way to protect your information. And thank you, Danetta.
Danetta's laughing.
Well, Sam C., would you like to introduce yourself to our
Yes.
audience?
I would love to. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me. So, all right. So my name is Samuel Cubbage II. I go by Sam C. Smooth, or the Smooth One, Sam C. Smooth, here on the show. I have been working in the credit industry for, wow, many years now.
Mhm.
Let me try to, should I get a specific number?
No, that's okay.
Well,
Unless you feel like it.
okay. So I've been working in the field for many, many years, starting in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's quite some time now.
yeah, and you know, it believe it or not, it just I kind of fell into that position because it's, you know, I was working a job that was totally different than what I do right now.
Mhm.
So, but when this job had an opening, more or less, it was kind of like a 90-day tryout.
Oh,
And once the 90 days was up, you know, the company wanted to hire me, and there were quite a few other people on because at the time they just really needed help.
that's right.
So,
And it had a lot to do with that Equifax situation, right?
yeah, well, the Equifax situation happened in 2017. So I wasn't in the department that I'm at currently at that time, but I was getting ready to go there.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I said, I've been working with even different parts of credit reports. So,
Well, while you're at it, why don't you tell us a little bit about the credit reports?
okay. Well, I can tell you the one thing that did pique my interest when I first started working with credit reports. I didn't work with a full credit report. I worked with what are called supplements of credit reports, which is a little piece of a credit report. So let's just say if you are trying to apply for a loan, like if you're working with your utility company, you're trying to get like a new house or something like that. Let's just say you're working with your particular bank. Well, your particular bank would actually call one of our specific departments as a third party. They would have that third party contact you as the potential person trying to get the loan. And they would ask you, you know, just some verifying questions. They want to make sure that, let's just say, you know, you have a credit card with a specific company or a department store card. They want to make sure that your department store card is up to date and that you've never been late or you don't have a balance, or they just want to know the true information on it.
That makes sense.
Because that's pretty much going to decipher whether or not they're going to give you the loan.
That makes sense to me.
So
makes sense to me. In
that department, I've had I dealt with many mortgage companies, banks and lenders, just independent people as well. That job was kind of fun, you know, working with those mortgage people, but then sometimes that could be a little bit annoying.
I would imagine.
Especially if they, you know, everybody has a deadline.
Yes.
So, you know, and so did we. But then, you know, that was fun. You know, I was in that department I kind of went back and forth between that department, but the department I'm in right now is actually a credit reporting agency. So this one, you had mentioned about Equifax. So yeah, Equifax they had a breach back in 2017. So I don't know if you guys are aware of that. It was all over the news. People were rushing to make sure that their accounts and their credit reports were perfectly fine. So a lot of people started not only just going to Equifax, but they were going to every single credit reporting agency to make sure, that their information was protected. So this is what I wanted to kind of talk about today, just how to protect your information. And, what I just told you was just a little piece of what I did earlier, but I'll definitely tell you what I do now and how you can go about protecting your info.
Well, that sounds good. But before you get into that, I was just thinking about when you were talking about that thing about like working with the mortgages and stuff. Would that also include like car loans?
Yeah, it could be car loans. Believe it or not, people could be buying furniture.
Oh, okay.
You'd be surprised. People could be doing auto repairs.
Okay.
Yeah, it just really depends. I mean, you could have like a Macy's card or, something like it. Yeah, that's what the supplement entails. It's just a piece of a credit report, not the whole thing, but just the piece that the actual lender is actually looking for so they can update that information.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sounds
good. So you're going to talk about how to protect your information. How many credit reporting agencies are there?
Most people think that there are 3, which I thought so too. So they're the main ones. The main ones, which I do stress about, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
That's true.
Whenever you're applying for something, those are the lenders or the reporting agencies that people or the lenders are looking at because they carry your credit score. But what people didn't realize, such as there is one more credit reporting agency out there, and it's called a Novus. Now, a Novus does not carry a credit score. What they're generally used for is identity verification. So whenever you work with a lender can they can pull you, if you have information from a Novus, if you have an actual credit report with them. And the only way you would have that is if your companies, like if you have that credit card or a car loan or whatnot, if those companies are reporting to a Novus like they report to the other 3 agencies, then you may have an Novus credit report.
Oh,
okay. But it doesn't necessarily mean you do. It just depends on who's reporting information because you may not have a report. But yeah, so there are 4 different credit reporting agencies, and a Novus is one of the ones I'm with.
Now, are all of these agencies the same?
Pretty much, and what I mean by that is they all have pretty much the same functions. So the one thing I can state, you can get your credit report from all of those places, but each credit report is different.
That's true.
So you may see one thing on your Equifax credit report that might not show up on your TransUnion credit report, that might show up on your TransUnion credit report, but might not show up on the Novus credit report. So it just really depends on what that creditor and or company that's reporting to those agencies is sending over to those companies.
Now, why don't these companies report to all of them?
We never know that. Yeah, a lot of the companies, they can pick and choose which agency that they want to deal with.
Oh.
So you may have one place that might report to all 4. You might have one place that reports to maybe 2 out of the 4. You might have one place that only decides to report to just one place.
Oh.
So
okay.
Yeah, that's that company's decision. They can pick and choose.
Well, right now, if you all would like to ask, boy, it really got bright out there. It just kind of gave us a little bit of a glow here.
Yeah.
If there are any questions that you may have about reporting, you could certainly put them in the chat. We just wanted you to know that. And we're going to just continue on. But if there are any questions, just let us know. What are some of the things that you've seen on reports?
I've seen a lot of things. I've seen bankruptcy statements. I've seen accounts past due. I mean, just the general things that you see, like if someone pays something off, A lot of times there could be, which I'll get into in another part of the show too, but there's a lot of times when people's information is definitely not correct, because if you pay something off, let's just say you had a credit card and you've never been late on it, you just say, I'm going to go ahead and pay this card off.
Well, you're that should be a good thing, right?
Yeah, it should be. It is. Let's just say I only have like $100 left on this card. I'm just going to go ahead and pay it off and close it out or whatever like that. Well, sometimes those places, those creditors may not update their information right away. So it's always best to double check on your reports to make sure how your information is being reported as far as your accounts.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen, besides the different statements in that, like, we've seen a lot of accounts being late. We've seen charge-offs, notices. We've seen accounts where the person, it may not be their account, but they're an authorized user. Or it may be like not their account, but it's on their report and it really is their spouse's.
Oh.
So, there's a lot of different things like that I've seen.
Well, that's a good question too, right there, about your spouse's information. That's actually a good one there. So what happens with that? If I were to call or contact one of the 4 agencies asking for your information, could I get it?
The only way you'd be able to get it is one of 2 ways. At least if you're over the phone, they're going to ask for a verbal authorization, because you just can't get my information without me giving them the verbal okay.
Okay.
Like if you call into one of the places and say, I'm calling on behalf of my husband, or my husband received this in the mail. Well, you're not me. So they're not going to divulge that information to you, no matter you're my spouse or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you say, if you put me on the phone and once I'm verified, they'll ask you, is it okay if I speak to your wife about the information? I say, yes, you're good to go. The other option is you can submit a letter into the reporting agencies, kind of like a power of attorneys, or like a notice stating I have power to speak on my spouse's behalf. If that's on record, then you're fine.
Oh, well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then I also have a question, though, too, about this verification. So how would you verify that that's because what if you're at work doing something, but I get this information about your credit, and then I might be at my folks' house. So they say, oh, well, I need to we need to verify with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I put Dad on the phone. Are you sure that that's not my dad, or is that my husband?
I see what you're saying. A lot of these places, including ours, take special precaution and extra steps to prove that you say that you whoever you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you can't go through those steps and don't complete those completely, it's not going to work.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Well, I won't ask what the steps are, just in case, just to not mess up if somebody's trying to do something,
right,
something out there. But that makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense. So you do have certain ways.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure that it's really my husband, Sam, and not my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Answering on your behalf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, it's not just over the phone. It's even, especially with our website,
mm-hmm.
You have to pass certain protocol, in order to get what you need. So.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. So what are some of the things, well, actually I should say, how can you make sure that the info on your report is accurate?
Well, first of all, you always want to get a copy of your report. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, you're entitled to 1 free report per year. Our reporting agency, you can get one as many times as you want. Okay. Because there's no we don't have like a cutoff. But that's the first thing. You want to take a look and see that your information is correct on your report. The second thing is when you take a look at your report, if you see something that's not right or inaccurate, you can always dispute it. And when I mean dispute, there's a couple different ways that you can go about that. You can, like if let's just say you're speaking to one of us, once we verify you and everything, a lot of people already know what's that this isn't right, and they'll tell
That's
you,
true.
and they'll say this isn't right. Either it's not mine, or this was never late, or this is not a charge off, or it's fraud, which I'll get into too. Those are things that you just want to make sure of. Get your credit report every year, and you can either go directly to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion and get that report from them, or there is another option. It's called annual credit report. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of that before, but if you go to annualcreditreport.com, you can get Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion on one credit report.
Oh, that would be nice.
Now, again, it's one per year, but a lot of people like that option, getting all three on one report, and some people like to go directly and just get one individually. And with ours, like I said, our information is not on annual credit report, so you have to reach out to us separately to get your credit report from us.
Thank you, Janetta. I tried, right?
I saw that just now.
I tried. I did give it a try.
Yeah.
He is being pretty tight-lipped about that, so that's all right. I get it.
Hey, it's not going to work for the government or anything.
That's all right, but it
gotta
does
gotta protect the info.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I do want to talk about a little bit about charge-offs and things like that are on your credit report. Now, things that have been, okay, let's just say something to the effect of there might be something hanging around on your report. Like, let's just say I owe $50 to the Macy's. We'll use Macy's since you got Macy's on my brain now. So Macy's. I owe $50 to Macy's. I haven't paid it. I haven't done anything about it. Didn't realize that I owed $50 to Macy's and that it was on there and that it had been on there for a while. Then I go and try to get a mortgage or a car loan or something like that. Will that $50, I don't want to say ruin me, but will that $50 ruin me? Is kind of a double-edged question. And would it be best for me to pay the $50? Okay, let me just go ahead and pay the $50, get it out the way. Or is it best to just let it stay there and drop off?
Well, I would say I wouldn't just flat out say, oh, pay it, because what if it's incorrect? What if you don't owe it?
That's a good point.
Okay. There's a lot of people that when they realize, just like you said, you were asking if it will ruin you. And I kind of like how you said that. I know where you're going with that. It would prompt them to put an investigation out to make sure that, number one, is this really true? In other words, that would be a dispute.
Oh, okay.
So, you can look at it as, depending on how long it's been on there. If it's been on there, if it's more than 30 days, then it's going to be on your report as a late.
Okay.
But all your other payments could be on time. And we've seen that somebody calls in, they can have a credit card for 10 years. And then they realize that, I didn't know that credit card. Oh, back in 1906. Yeah. I didn't realize there was a one late payment there. So, and a lot of times people, and it's not like people inadvertently don't pay. A lot of times they don't get notices in the mail. A lot of times, like, it could be an error of the creditor where they're not sending any type of communication to people. Because a lot of people, like I said, and you hear it all the time. I pay my bills on time, and I'm a good person. So in this case, like you're asking, what do you do for something like that? Well,
like what if it's been there for, well, we'll say 7 years, because that's when things drop off, right? Or are supposed to drop off.
okay,
right?
yeah, I'll answer that.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have something negative on your report, like a charge off or anything negative on there, you're right. 7 years, it has to drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Has to.
Okay.
That's by law.
Okay. Well, then there's a question. Here's another question. All right. So places like Macy's, right? Well, Macy's not in particular, but we'll say Macy's, okay? Several companies switch names, right? So it might be like it's Macy's these 5 years, and then Macy's gets bought out by, we're going to go back in time here, gets bought out by Lazarus. Therefore, now it's under a new name, but then does it still carry on because it's not Macy's anymore. It's Lazarus.
Not supposed to.
Not supposed to. Oh, okay. That's good.
Like I said, it's supposed to fall off in 7 years. Like after 7 years, if it's bought out, they can't say, "Oh, well, it's under a new company." No, that's a violation.
It's a violation.
That's, like I said, by law, you cannot do that. It can't be bought by a different company, and the new company tries to start. No, you can't do that.
Now, I've heard of, actually, I'm not gonna put anybody's business out there, but for those friends, because we have friends who know that you work in the credit field, so they ask us questions, right? They even ask me questions, and I'm like, I'm not the one that does the credit reporting. I'm the teacher, so I don't know anything about the credit reporting. I just know that SAMC tries to keep our credit straight, so that's all I know. However, someone was telling me that they have a company, and I don't know if it's technically like one of those shady,
so like one of those companies that's supposed to help you.
I think so. I wonder if that's what it is. And the company, I don't know whether they actually, nonetheless, I don't know whether they actually owe money, but this company and I won't name the company name either, but this company is on their credit report. And I do believe that they owe, well, I could tell you how much they owe, right? Or according to the thing.
You don't have to.
But okay, so they owe a couple, not a lot, but a couple of $100, according to this company's reporting to their credit report.
Okay.
Over the years, the name of the company has changed. So let's just say that the name of the name of the company is
Redbone.
Redbone. Okay, so Redbone.
Red's the red bottom.
There you go. Redbone it started off as Redbone, and then Redbone changed to Water Bottle, and then Water Bottle changed to Ladder, and then Ladder changed to Ruler. Ruler is the one now that has acquired that information. But it was really Redbone that they started off with. And it's been more than 10 years.
Again, it's supposed to, you can't keep something on your report for more than 7.
So then how do they fix that?
That's something they can either go straight to that company, or there's even another, I mean, of course you can always dispute something, on your credit report, but if you feel that you're not getting any responses, you're still dealing with that same company, you can always either go to the Better Business Bureau, or you can go to, trying to think of what the other one is, because I state that all the time. It's well, I mean, it'll come to me. But then, like,
thank you, Danetta. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah, but there's I would say at least the Better Business Bureau. If I'm trying to think of what the other one is.
So report that to the Better Business Bureau.
Mm-hmm.
What if the company? Okay, so now I'm going to get to them again. Danetta, I'm going to get them. What if they're not a part of the Better Business Bureau?
Well, you can still dispute it anyway. I mean, you can
with
still
the bureau.
Mm-hmm, with the bureau. If you see something else, you can, of course, you can always research that information yourself too. So,
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. What are some of the things besides disputing things? What are some of the other ways you can protect your information?
Very good question. There's actually 3 things that I can recommend for you, and you can do these with each of the credit reporting agencies. The first thing you can do, and I'm sure everybody has probably heard this in one form or another, one of them is a security freeze. And what a security freeze does, it freezes your whole credit report. So even if you yourself trying to go out and apply for something and that lender pulls your report, with your report frozen, they can't say anything. And they'll let you know, excuse me, ma'am or sir, I can't pull your report because evidently you have it frozen. Can you unlock it? You need to get it unlocked so we can view your report. Oh, okay. So if I had, so the freezes keep your accounts frozen until you take it off. Right. Not like how those nope, like charge-offs and things or whatever are supposed to drop. That's totally different. You control who views your credit report. Oh. So a freeze comes with a PIN number. So whenever you place a freeze, no matter which agency you place one with, of course, it's always, if you place a freeze with one place, you have to place it with other ones because it doesn't automatically roll over. That makes sense. Okay, because each company is different. So when you place that freeze, it comes with a PIN number. The freeze takes effect immediately, and you will have a PIN number. Generally, they mail one out to you, or at least we mail our information out. So I don't know if the other places may just send you an email with the PIN, but I don't think they should. They probably should just mail it to you. But that takes effect. And if you're working with a company, and you have that PIN number, then you can always lift it for as long as you need. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. So the freeze basically stops even any fraudulent person. They can't get your file. They can't get your report. So even if my account was frozen, if I talk to all 4 agencies, and because I know that my account is with all 4 agencies, and if I went and I talked to all of these agencies, let's just say 10 years ago, mm-hmm, my account is still frozen. Yep. And if I were to go out today and try to buy a car, they would tell me, no, I have to get all of those freezes taken off. Well, they'll want to have you unlock. Yeah, you yourself will want to make sure, because if you know that you're going to be applying for something, you want to make sure that they're able to access your info. That makes sense. Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a freeze stays on indefinitely. That's the one thing. The second thing is called a fraud alert. Now, that doesn't involve a PIN number. That also takes effect immediately, and a fraud alert can last either for 1 year or for 7, depending on what you prefer. That's quite a large thing from 1 to 7. 1 to 7. So why is it so big? Well, you can decide which one that you want to put it on, because some people feel, hey, I just want to put this on for a long time. I don't want nobody gathering me. The fraud alert's different. What it is when you place the alert and a company tries to pull your report, they're literally going to have a message come up on their end that's going to prompt them to contact you first before they can do anything. So let's just say if someone's trying to apply for something in your name, your phone, whatever, and now you have to, whatever phone number you put on the fraud alert, that's the number that whatever creditor that's trying to issue credit is going to contact you. So if someone's trying to apply for something in your name they get a red flag, they call you, and then they'll just ask you verified questions like, are you trying to apply for this, doesn't so? If you say no, okay, thank you. That's it. Transaction's done. They can't proceed.
Oh.
Well, they can't. Well, the transaction never would have got started because they would have saw that.
Right. It would have popped up.
So that's one thing. And then if you contact, let's just say Equifax, you put a fraud alert on, Equifax will communicate with Experian and TransUnion. So all three of them will work together. They'll have the information amongst the three. Whereas our reporting agency, you have to contact us separately. Because we're not part of the three.
Oh, okay.
So
now with that, is there a way that you can it has to be 1 year or 7 years?
For fraud alerts, yes. Yeah, 1 year or 7.
Is there any reason for that?
I've never known that.
Okay.
I mean, I know that's the only thing that I've seen, like either 1 year or 7 is just the way that they have these set up with all the companies.
Wow.
I will say there is a third thing too, but it doesn't really involve a freeze or an alert. It's called an opt-out. And I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but what an opt-out is, in simpler terms, we all get a lot of junk mail. We all get a lot of letters saying, you've been approved for this credit card, or you've been approved for this, and so basically pre-screening offers. You can choose to take yourself out of that.
Oh.
So if you're like, I don't want all this stuff, yeah, you can contact one of the reporting agencies and you can opt out of those mailings that you get. Now, an opt-out, you can choose to do either 5 years or you can take yourself out permanently. And now the other thing is you don't have to specifically go to the reporting agencies. You can also go online. I'm trying to think. I think it's opt-out. Trying to think of what the actual website is, but yeah, there is a website for opt-outs as well. But if it makes you feel more comfortable, if you're placing a freeze or an alert, you can always go to you can always ask them, hey, I want to opt out too. So I will tell you, if you place a 7-year fraud alert, at least with our company, and you don't have an opt-out, the opt-outs automatically go with the 7-year fraud alert.
Oh, okay.
So everything is, and by the way, everything is free, in case everybody's wondering, is there a fee for a freeze or an alert or not? No, there's not. There's never, they cannot charge you for that. Because, you're protecting your info.
Well, that's good. When is the best time to maybe start looking into your report?
Oh, there's never a bad time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's never a bad time at all. You can do that anytime. Like if you're like, I want my report. Okay, well, you can go ahead and you can contact those specific agencies anytime you want. Just remember, if you haven't had one, if you're looking for your yearly one and haven't had one this year, you can get, now you may want to get one. But you can get one any part of the year. Remember, the other three agencies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, you can get one per year.
Right.
The Novus, you can get. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to say go out and rack up and get like 10 credit reports from, but I mean, just within reason, just make sure that hey, I haven't had one this year. Boom.
Now, can the credit reports be emailed?
I don't know about the other three agencies, but ours, no.
Oh.
We do not email credit reports. But with our reporting agency, you can either order one through the mail, like if you can get a paper copy, or if you've never had a credit report with us, when we mail you out the report, it's going to come with a temporary username and password. So that way you can set up your account and you can view your report anytime you want.
Oh, okay. So that's already, all that information is already out there and on.
You'll have with us, you'll have your credit report, temporary username, password, boom, set up your account. Okay. You go in there right now, you can look at it.
Oh, well, that sounds good. I like
24/7.
25.
7 days a week. Yeah.
Oh, so if I want to look at my credit report
at 3 o'clock in the morning, you could do that.
at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I should probably, if I'm up stressing about, oh my goodness, my credit report. My credit report is just it's a hot mess.
Yeah,
and
if you feel the need to do that, then yeah, you just
you do it at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah.
that would be interesting. However, I'm sure there's
people like that.
I'm sure there are probably a lot of people out there like that, probably stressing out about their credit and their credit report. I'm sure of it.
Exactly.
Are there any interesting stories that you'd like to tell about maybe a situation that's come up, maybe something strange? Like, what are the, I'll do it this way. What are the typical things found on a credit report? And then the second part, what would be something odd found on a credit report?
Let's say a lot of different things. Something odd. Well,
because I would assume that the typical things would be like,
I was never late.
right. Okay, but we just have Macy's on the brain. So like, Macy's credit card, Visa card, Discover cards, I'm sure probably. Your utility bills, I guess, might pop up on your credit report.
On most of them.
Your school and student loans, I'm sure, that kind of stuff. I would imagine those things are what would be considered typical, right?
Well, you had mentioned something strange. Well, you don't see this all the time, but now, I don't know if I may have said this at the beginning, but I think this might kind of be a little bit different. If someone's account is supposed to be closed, or if it's been, I'll say that. If someone's account is supposed to be closed and the person didn't know about it, that it's still open. Or they just,
and the person actually went and closed it?
Yeah, the person says, okay, well, I'm done with the account. I just want to close. Well, sometimes the company may have not updated the information. So basically, it could be, let's just say they've closed that account like 10 years ago. Oh. But here's the thing. It's not a bad account. Oh. It's a good account. It's never been late. It's just sitting there. And you're like, and the person's like, I was looking, I found something here and I don't know why this is like this, but I closed this account 10 years ago.
Oh.
And you're sitting and then you're sitting there looking like, wow. Like, okay. Yeah. So basically what you'd have to do is reach out. That'd be a dispute. You have to reach out to that. Now you can either do one or two things. You can either reach out to the company yourself, or you can just have the reporting agency reach out to them for you. One thing I didn't mention, and I hope this kind of goes along with your question. If it doesn't, I'll kind of go back to that. Each company that you send a dispute to has 30 days to reply.
No, you did not mention that. Yes.
They have 30 days. At least they're supposed to be 30 days. They're not supposed to go past that.
And if they do?
That, to me, well, actually, I can't say to me. Yeah, if they don't, then that will be in the other person's favor.
Oh, okay. That sounds
because they have to. It means like, I'm just going flat out say if they don't reply back, it means like either A, they didn't care. Number two, they didn't look.
Yeah, maybe.
Number three, they're just slow.
But if it's not taken care of in 30 days,
it has to be corrected.
It has to be corrected. And if it's not corrected, does that if I was the person disputing something and it hasn't been corrected in 30 days. Now, here's another thing. Is this an actual 30 days or is this 30 business days?
Let's say 30 days.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
I see Danetta came up with a comment too.
Oh, go for it.
She says, somehow my deceased younger cousin, whose name is, I won't read the name out, name is, and also lived at my grandmother's residence at the time, was popping up in my credit report. Of course, I
Oh,
disputed all of that.
oh, that's weird.
You have to really monitor your reports. Yep, she's right. Yeah, that's another
Oh, that's
thing.
weird.
We don't deal with credit monitoring. So I know that Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, they have that monitor. One of those three, if not all of them, has that monitoring service where I think it's LifeLock. I know you've seen that on
yeah,
TV.
I've seen LifeLock.
Like if something pops up, then they're going to alert you.
Yeah.
Like I think they call you.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that. That's why we just say, hey, you can place a freeze, you can place an alert, you can, get it, make sure you get copies of your report.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Danetta, okay, wait, so let me see.
Hope that answered your question. If not, I'll.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm glad you disputed all of that. That's what. Oh, but probably because the names were close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm thinking.
Do they often make mistakes like that? And then for Danetta, it's Dan and Danetta.
Yeah, I can answer that too because but
there's several letters after. Yeah. After the DAN, and there's several letters. We've got the ETA after that. So how did the?
Well, it's I see that a lot. Well, not a lot, but there are some times when a lot of creditors make mistakes when they see each month they update their information. So a lot of times if you're typing something in, they can make a mistake. And let's just say if your name is Todd, they might put Ted. It's like they're just, or especially if the letters and numbers are so close together, a lot of the times they will do that. And then when someone, I know at least with us, and you have a freeze on your report, if something gets updated, there's a letter that goes out.
Oh, okay.
Because number one, you have a freeze, and then it tells you this information has been added, and it tells you what it is. And then when you call us, we'll look at it and we'll say, oh, it's like my name is not, so and so, it's this, but this was added, and I hate the you guys that, but right. When they say you guys, well, okay, let's us guys take a look at it. So I'm like, okay, so we'll look at it and was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, well, your real name is here. Let's remove this. Let's find out why. Let's take a look and see who edited that. And you're like, oh, do you have an account with so-and-so? Yeah, I just opened it up like 2 weeks ago or last month. Okay, well, they're the ones that actually have your name wrong.
Oh.
And they'll be like, oh, it's like, well, if there's a phone number sitting there, like, no, it's okay. I have their phone number. I was like, I didn't know they did that. Yeah, that's why that seems to be a lot of the mistakes. People will call in because their creditors make a mistake in inputting their name incorrectly, or it could be a name and number or something that's not even related to them, that they might have been looking at somebody else's thing and accidentally typed in something else.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But, yeah, Danetta says, yes, you answered that, and it was because the names were close in the same residence. My grandfather had the same name as him. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, boy.
Good job.
Yeah. I tried.
Good job.
That's the only thing I could think of. Like, it's just, that's a little crazy, but it's like, you're forgetting, you've got the ETA. It's like you're forgetting, like, so I guess the person just got lazy and they were just like, okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That must be it.
That makes a world of a difference. That makes a world of a difference between having somebody's information right and having it not right.
That is correct.
Because that could cause some chaos, especially it might make the person panic.
Sure. Of course, I would panic over that.
You'd be surprised how many people call in. Well, I can't say a lot of people do, but if there's a lot of something that's been added, or whether we've actually had quite a few people say, thank you for sending out a notice to me, because I had no idea that you did that, and it tells me what was added, and they just think, a lot of people thank us for that.
No,
because they said, I just wish other places would do that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But we do.
That's exactly right.
So
See, Danetta.
she's right, like didn't exist.
Right. Danetta, right.
And it was frustrating. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's terribly.
Yeah.
Terribly frustrating. I guess, like, excuse me. There's a difference here. Dan and Danetta. Hello. Like, come on. 2 different names. I mean,
exactly.
Might be the first 3 letters the same, but it's still a different name.
Right.
Just my humble opinion. That's all. Oh my goodness. Well, if anyone wanted to discuss with you about credit, sir.
That's funny.
I mean, maybe, because we do have Danetta, but we also have a few folks that are out there. Hello, the other folks that are out there that haven't said anything. Maybe somebody might want to ask you some questions. Would it be okay for them to contact you?
Yeah, that's funny. I guess I guess I have to. Yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm the guest. Yeah. So
yes, you're the guest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can contact. You can contact. I guess the easiest bit would be the CCI radio show stuff, because if you go to the CCI radio shows Facebook page, Twitter, or Instagram, you can send a private message there, or you can email us. pandemicpm@gmail.com, and just put in the subject line, protect your information or credit report question or something like that.
Okay.
Get back to you as soon as I can.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a very good
comment.
I mean, like, did she have a sex change? Like, what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? Hello? Like, no. And you said that it's a younger cousin. So like, that's a whole mess. It's a different name, different first name, number one.
Yeah.
Different birth date, of course.
Right.
The cousin is male and has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And a different address. Like, there's 4 things right off the bat that I could think of that aren't right. So those things shouldn't have ended up on Danetta's report. That's just, I'm not even in it. I'm not even in the credit thing. And I don't know. That just drives me.
Contest.
I'm out of the contest. I guess I'm out of the contest. That just drives me insane. That drives me insane. Well, sir, are there any shout outs?
This is really funny. Yes.
Asking you, you're on an interview.
Yeah. Sorry,
you're on a CCI interview.
It just slips my mind because I'm looking at us and I'm like, oh, there's like really nobody backstage. Yeah, okay. I keep forgetting there's nobody backstage, but yeah, okay. I definitely want to give a shout out to you.
Thank you, sir.
And shout out to all
and yourself.
Yeah, shout out to me. Yeah, that sounds so conceited, doesn't it? Yeah. Want to thank everybody for tuning in today. That's the other shout out. Thank you guys for allowing me to go on my on a different path today, just to kind of let you know what I do, other than the radio shows and all the other stuff that we do. So thank you so much. I hope I didn't bore you too much with all this information, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to, tell and teach a little bit.
I think that's good.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. Oh, I'm glad.
I thought this would be a different twist.
Well, I'm glad you went with what I told you, that this would be a good and informative show. I thought that would be good. Now, I also want to put this out there, because Sam C., I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the show, he was looking a little like, what is she talking about? So, as we all know, Sam C., whenever I say, we should try something different, let's try this. As you can see, I'm a little bit more of the adventurous one, not so much Sam C. So he's the one that's more grounded. But when he gets into it, like literally, like, we should go on YouTube and do our thing. No, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that.
That's true.
I'm not a fan of that. Okay.
That's true.
And now that he's done it, it's like, yeah, so It's nice to have you on our show. Thank you for having me. I mean, us, her too, I guess. Maybe. Forget about her. So that kind of thing. I suggested that on our YouTube channel, maybe Sam C, he doesn't have to do it every week. It doesn't have to be every Saturday. It doesn't have to. But maybe it would be nice if he were to come once a week. He could pop in live when he's able, and he could give some, maybe some credit advice. Maybe, something like that. I don't know. Let us know what you think.
Never thought about that.
Right. I don't even have to be there. I could be teaching, and he could pop up while I'm at the preschool. He could pop up and say, "Hey, did you know that with your credit?" Or, I don't know if there might be some interesting things about credit that are different. Like, the seasons are different. Maybe there's something different about the seasons with credit. Maybe the best time to maybe the best time to buy a car is in October, and this is what you need to do for your credit. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Danetta said she think that'd be great.
There you go. And then that might cut down a little bit of the thank you for joining us on the CCI radio show. I'm Sam C. Smooth. And that other girl that lives here too. Thank you so much. What did I say?
She's all thrilled. No, it's all good. I was just looking at her like stretching herself out. That's all. That's kind of funny though.
Oh, yeah, Danetta had a good question too.
Oh,
we skipped a question up there.
Let's see. I heard it was good to pay off or pay down on your accounts, credit cards, but not necessarily close the accounts. Do you find that to be true?
Oh, that's a good question.
Let me try to answer that in a way that I think I can answer that, only because I don't work with the credit card companies that deal with credit scores. So that's a little bit different. I've heard both ways. I've heard if you've paid it off, it's good, or if you close the accounts. I would say the best thing for that would be to probably contact one of the agencies that deals with credit scores, like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, or there's another place that you can contact. It's called, I don't know if you may have heard of this, it's called FICO, FICO, dealing with your FICO score. They have a website that's called myfico.com. So they may have like a fax and what was it, FAQ section on their website. So that might be a little bit more specific, only because we will make sure you get the right answer to that. So, but like I said, I've heard it both ways, because people have asked us that, and we're like, well, you really don't want to say, yeah, pay it down or close it out. It's, I've heard if you keep something on it, but keep it open, then you're fine. I've heard if you close it out, then, but just to make sure you get the right answer, I will contact either one of those other agencies or just FICO, see if you find anything on their website that will help you with that.
That sounds good. And actually, speaking of something like that, I think I did hear that it is better to keep a credit card account open or something. Like it what did you say before? Like it gives you a better, like it gives you a history.
It looks good. If you keep something open, well, I guess in my way of viewing it, if you keep something open, but you keep something on it, it looks good in your history, because it means, oh, you've maintained this account for a very long time, even depending on if it's never been late or anything like that. So that does look good on your history. And
now, what if it has been? late.
That's probably well, yeah. I mean, if it's late, then I mean,
but you've maintained it all these years. But
it's been
maybe a couple of times it's been late.
Well, sometimes if it's late, it could be true.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people like, yeah, it's mine. It's late. But I mean, does that matter for right now? I mean, it depends on how far back it was late.
Oh, okay.
Because if it's getting close to being fallen off, then it's not going to matter.
Oh.
But like I said, you can always dispute that too. Always, again, make sure you get a copy of your credit report from time to time. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. You can always get one per year. Annualcreditreport.com. If you want to get the one with all three of them on it, you can always reach out to Innovis. I didn't give you the website for that.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to Innovis. It's spelled INNOVIS.com. Read about who we are, what we do.
And you may want to check them out, because
don't ask for me.
Don't ask for Sam. But you never know. You might have an Innovis report and not even know it.
There is an option on there. It says, it's an option to order your report. So you can order it. Trust me, if they need more information, they'll let you know.
And it's interesting, you'll get a letter, because we had Innovis credit reports and didn't know it until Sam found out about Innovis.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is this?
Oh.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so
it
doesn't hurt.
Thank you, Danetta. We're glad we can help you.
That's right.
Today.
And make you laugh a little bit.
Yeah. And she said, thanks, great shows always.
Thank you.
Like I said, hopefully it wasn't too boring to you. I didn't want to drag on and sound like that,
Well, credit, though, it might not be a super exciting, like, oh, we're going to this show or we're doing this or whatever. We're doing this music thing. It's important.
It's different.
It's different and it's important.
It's true.
It's something that you need to know about.
Yes.
It's very important that you get all of your ducks in a row. And, we're going into these winter months.
Right.
The pandemic is still out there. It might not be a lot, but, we're not hearing as much about it, but it's still out there.
Yeah.
And, you might want to, we actually know a couple who, because of the pandemic, they actually saved all their money, and where they would have been going on trips and buying all this stuff and whatnot. And they were able to pay off their house that they actually had a 30-year mortgage on. They were actually able to pay off their house in what is now 11 years.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. So these are, and I'm sure with that, is that something that their credit report was probably like,
probably.
Yeah.
Probably like, thank goodness.
Like, thank goodness, congratulations. Now you have a 1,000 credit score. I know that there's no such thing, but I know there's no such thing as one. But because they were able to pay it off in 20 years early, 19 years early, I'm sure their credit probably went through the roof, right? At that point.
I think it did.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So thank you so much for joining us and our special guest star, Sam C. Smooth, who gave us some wonderful information. And Danetta, thank you. I think I'm going to have Sam C. do some pop-ins about credit. I'm going to keep on.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe they could be like little shorts or something. It doesn't have to be like a long show. I could say, hey, here's a credit moment or something like this.
Sure, whatever you want to call it. It's fine. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see.
So thank you. And thank you, Danetta. Have a great weekend too.
Have a great weekend. We're gonna go ahead and try to do something
Fallsy. Yeah, we're gonna
about an hour.
It's a little chilly out, but it's sunny. So we're gonna
time to grab the hoodie.
That's right. So we're gonna get out there for a little bit and see what's going on.
And get some lunch.
Yes, I guess you deserve a lunch out right now since since you did such a nice job talking about credit on the show. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Hey, I like what the Netta put. Call it news you can use.
Oh, I like it.
Hey, I'll credit you, Danetta.
That's it. That's it.
If I do that, I'll credit you.
We're gonna have him do it.
Yeah,
we're gonna have
I'll credit you. So,
well, thank you all for
it was a lot
joining
of fun.
us. We had a lot of fun, and if you have any questions for Sam C, check us out on our CCI radio show Facebook page, and he will respond as soon as possible.
Yep. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss this a little bit. This was pretty cool.
You're welcome, dear.
Lord willing, tomorrow in the CCI radio show programming, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning, Gospel Excellence with you. And it's going to be a great show because you are going to be featuring music from someone we've had on the show.
Oh, very nice.
Not going to say who it is.
Okay.
So
right.
You'll have to find out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
That's
and then, Lord willing, next week, CCI radio show returns or might be the TLC podcast.
Probably the TLC podcast.
And Cooking Phone with Mrs. Coverage coming back this, Friday as well. So,
and yesterday was the sweet corn donut.
Yeah, those were good.
They were good?
Yeah, those are good. You got to make those again.
I'll make them again.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely going to make those again. So.
I will. I definitely will.
And another said, laugh out loud. Thanks. You're welcome.
All right. And we will get ourselves on out of here.
Yeah, I guess we should.
Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everyone. And
make sure you guys share this too.
Yes.
Because
please.
if you know somebody that might be interested in the day's show, make sure you click like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I think the information is very informative. I think it was informative today.
That's right. I agree. I agree. Gets everybody in there.
Another laugh.
Dana's laughing at us.
Donut holes.
Super easy, Danetta. You
And
can definitely do that.
Oh, thanks, Danetta.
So,
thanks for adding the link for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Danetta. She's amazing. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she definitely is.
So,
of course, you already knew that.
Of course.
So, we are going to go ahead and get on out of here. We will see you guys next time. Thank you again for tuning in. And Bobby D, you can close us out.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery, today's a gift. That's why we call it the present. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again really, really soon.